This Shabbat going to read Parashat Yitro. Jethro. Parashat Yitro. We have the amazing story of receiving the Torah. And I would like to, with your permission, take you on a different journey on this whole ordeal, what happened there. We'll leave that to the side for a different time, but a different journey, a journey into our center, and we'll see where we take us. So we have here the case of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in a way, revealing himself to us in a magnitude that never seen before since the time of creation. HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes to give Am Yisrael the Torah and to establish a covenant between him and Am Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu already had some covenants before in the past. He had a personal covenant with Avraham Avinu, and he had a covenant with Noach that he acted upon as a shaliach, as a messenger for the rest of humanity, that he's not going to give a flood anymore. And but this time is a little different. This time this covenant is different. Both Noach and Avraham Avinu did not really have a choice or anything to say, to have a choice to become a partner in this covenant or not. They didn't have a choice. Here is different, since HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants this partnership with Am Yisrael, and he wants also that Am Yisrael will choose him to be their partner. It's a equal partnership covenant. Am Yisrael, on his part, seems like he's agreeing to this whole thing, and he says, what does Am Yisrael say? Naaseh, or Naaseh v'nishma. But we really need to see exactly what happens here. And if it's so wonderful as we all think, so why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as the Midrash tells us, that why did he had to hold upon the heads, so-called the mountain, like a barrel over the head? If you get it, if you receive my Torah, good. If not, I'm going to drop this mountain on your head, and you're going to wipe out, and the whole entire universe was suspended by a thread, whether Am Yisrael is going to receive the Torah or not to receive the Torah. I don't understand. If you want partners, we go partners. But what kind of partnership would he put a gun to my head? What exactly happened here? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, both before and after Matan Torah and the covenant, he tells Moshe to check whether Am Yisrael would agree to be his partner for this covenant. The idea behind it is extremely deep. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants Am Yisrael to worship him from free choice. That it will be absolutely their free choice, and they will choose him from their free choice. It is an unbelievable concept. You have no idea. This concept is rooted so deep, and excuse me, I'm not a man of words, and I don't know I'm not so good in quoting exactly who said what, but I do know that even Thomas Jefferson said, this idea had penetrated so much, he said something like that the governors and governments receive their authority to govern from the governees, from the people who choose them. This idea is phenomenal. Am Yisrael, in a way, by choosing HaKadosh Baruch Hu, out in the open, crowns him to be the king of the world. Well, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wasn't the king of the world before. Of course he was. He was the king of the world before there was a world. However, it is Am Yisrael's duty to choose it and to announce, we are not afraid anymore to say that there is God in heaven and earth, and this God is one, and his name is Hashem. We're not afraid anymore. Listen, we suffer throughout the history because of that, but we're not afraid. At least for that, we had some kind of a spine, at least at the time, to do so. So, how did the Bnei Israel said that they agreed to this deal? What was their word of the agreement? So let's look at Sefer Shemot, aka Exodus, and it's going to be in Perek Yutet, 19th verse 8, and it says the following. It says 8. All right, let's go Vav. Let's go Zion beforehand. All right, let's go Zion. Vayavo Moshe v'yikra liziknei ha'am, and Moshe came and he called the elders, vayasem lifneihem et kol hadvarim ha'el asher tzivahu Hashem, and he put in front of them the whole demand, so-called, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu had told them, in front of the elders. Vayanu kol ha'am, and all the people answered yachdav, in unison, yachdav. Vayomru kol asher diber Hashem na'aseh. Whatever Hashem told us, we will do. Efo na'aseh v'nishma. Na'aseh. Ma atem osim na'aseh v'nishma? Na'aseh, we will do. Vayashev Moshe divrei ha'am el Hashem. And Moshe said, listen, that's what the people say. They will do it. Efo na'aseh v'nishma. So why are you saying na'aseh v'nishma? So they said na'aseh. This was before the Brit, before HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Am Yisrael the Torah. Later on, which is in Parashat Shoftim, I'm skipping. In Parashat Shoftim, it says, where is it? Let me see. Pasuk Gimel. I can't really see. Pasuk Gimel. Okay. Next page. Pasuk Gimel. Vayavo Moshe v'yisaper lahem et kol divrei Hashem. And Moshe came to the people, and he told them all the words which Hashem said, ve'et kol hamishpatim, and all the laws, vayan kol ha'am, kol echad. And the whole group of the whole nation said in one voice, Naaseh, v'yamru kol hadvarim asher diber Hashem, naaseh. Whatever Hashem told us, naaseh. Lo nishma. Naaseh. Later on, this was after. Later on it comes again. The third time is in Pasuk Zayin, the same Exodus 24 verse 7. It says, Vayikach Sefer HaBrit, and he took the book of covenant, Vayikra Boznei Ha'am, and he read it in the ears of the people. He read it out loud. Vayomru, and they said, Kol asher diber Hashem, Naaseh v'nishma. Naaseh v'nishma. So there's 3 times. Naaseh, and then Naaseh v'nishma. So, fine. I understand the Naaseh. We will do. I understand. We will do. Not a problem. We'll do it. But what is this addition that we have in the third pasuk, when we talk about it? What is this addition of nishma? Before you told me twice naaseh. Now you're telling me naaseh v'nishma. We will do and we will hear. What's the difference? A few weeks ago, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu introduced himself to Moshe, he says v'shamati. Right? It says, Shamati et na'akat bnei Israel, tza'akat asher tzoakim elai, I heard. So shmi'ah is shmi'ah, like hearing. Lishmo'ah is to hear. But in Sefer Bereshit, when we talk about the Migdal Bavel, the Tower of Babylon, and it says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, when he's going to mix up the languages, in order for them not to hear each other's language. What does it mean? It says here that this shmiyah, this hearing, actually means understanding. So beyond the regular explanation that we have, na'aseh v'nishma, we will do and we will hear, We also have a way to explain it. Na'aseh, we will do and we'll understand. The same thing is a similar idea in Masechet Chagiga, where the Gemara is doreshet, and the Gemara actually questions the fact if a person cannot hear, can actually understand. Right? And there's a story there, and with the two deaf people. And so we'll not get into this. So over there is Shmiyah, also refers to as a matter of understanding. But there's another difference, and there's a very important difference. So that's Nishma, and Na'aseh v'Nishma. The other difference between the psukim, as you paid attention, is that the first two psukim that we brought, when it says only Na'aseh, the first time when it says Yachdav, together. The second time it says Bekol Echad, in one voice. The third time when they say Na'aseh v'Nishma, it doesn't mention Bekol Echad, together, and there's no reference to this togetherness. So I heard one time that there is a big difference between Judaism and other religions. And that is that Judaism understands the difference between deed and creed. Or in other words, emunah v'ma'aseh. Emunah v'ma'aseh. Between doing and understanding. Judaism does not have a theology. Judaism has laws. And the difference between Judaism and other religion is fundamental. Judaism is based on a collateral collection of actions, on how people act towards each other, on how do we bring HaKadosh Baruch Hu into our life. Not only our individual private life, but also into our communal life. How do we bring God into this thing? How do I interact with the other person? As much as HaKadosh Baruch Hu is revealed to us through His actions, so we are obligated to bring HaKadosh Baruch Hu into our actions. As we said, Shekol ma'asecha yiyu l'shem shamayim. That all your actions should be directed, so-called, or should be for the sake of heaven, for the sake of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In other words, you should reach a level, you should strive to reach a level in your life that everybody that would look at you and your actions that you do would see and you realize that you are a man of God. Because if you look at anything that happens in the universe, you have to be an absolutely blind fool not to see God in it. So are we. The patterns of behavior of us as Jews are based on laws. The laws of the Torah. And on the laws of the Torah, we all agreed, befeh echad, with one voice. And then we say, Na'aseh, we will do. It's not a problem. We need to keep Shabbat. Okay, we'll keep Shabbat. We need to keep Kashrut. Keep Kashrut. And on and on and on. That's not a problem. But whatever is dependent on understanding, Havana, on understanding, each one answered by himself. They said Na'aseh v'Nishma. They didn't say B'kol Echad, and they didn't say it together. Each one says, okay, fine, that's the way I understand it. It's not a problem. Why? Because the way I understand something might be different than the way you understand something. The way I approach the legends or the Agadata is different than the way you approach Agadata and so on and so forth. One person is interested in demons, the other is interested in biology. One likes Kabbalah, the other likes Gemara. This one doesn't want to hear any Agadata, this one wants to hear only Agadata. This one likes this one like the other one, and so on and so forth. And this is a tremendous chidush, is a tremendous idea and a brand new concept in the world that there was nothing like this ever before. You can understand it as the way you want. That's why the essence of what we call machloket l'shem shamayim, we disagree, and that's the beauty of it. I don't agree with the way you interpret the pasuk. And you don't agree with the way I, translated or explained the pasuk, that verse, and that's fine. Terrific, good for you. It's not a problem. I don't have to hate you because you understand it different than me. No, I try to oppress you because you understand it different than me. I don't try to force my view on you. Show me another religion that would say that the truth stays the truth, regardless if the majority doesn't agree on it. That's what I hold. The Gemara is full of this. Most of the Gemara is different opinions. I still didn't see any rabbi from the Gemara that's written that took a pen or hit his friend on his head because they disagreed, or put him in cherem because they disagreed. There was one case like this, and this is a specific case right after the destruction of the temple to unify Am Yisrael for completely dismantling. That was Savsha. But overall, okay, you understand it this way, I understand it this way. It didn't stop Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yossi HaGlili to disagree on certain halachot. They were still okay. That's the way you understand, that's the way I understand. But this is not anarchy. It's not that I understand that I could drive on Shabbat and you understand that you cannot drive on Shabbat. That's not what we're talking about. These are the chukim, these are the law that we all agree. That's the difference between conservative reform and Jews, observant Jews. For them it's just culture. For them it's theology. For us it's a way of life. There's a big difference. I'm going to share with you something now that will blow your mind out. Please don't get it messy. The Rambam in Halachot Mamrim says the following. Beit Din Hagadol, the great Beit Din in Jerusalem, Hemikar Torah Shebe'al Peh, it's the main concept of Torah Shebe'al Peh. Vehem Amud HaOra'ah, and they are the pillar or the foundation of teaching us. Uvehem Chok u'Mishpat Yotzeh Lechol Israel, and from that Beit Din Hagadol in Yerushalayim, that's all the laws and all the takanot and all the new. From there, God spreads up all over the world. Ve'alehem Ifticha Torah, and according to that, based on them, the Torah had promised us, Sheneimar Asher Yerucha, which they would show to you, which they would guide you. Ve'ala Mishpat Asher Yemru Lecha Ta'aseh, and to whatever they tell you should do. Zo mitzvat aseh, which is mitzvat aseh, whatever they told you. V'chol ha'ma'amin b'Moshe Rabbeinu, whoever believes that Moshe Rabbeinu uveTorato and his Torah, chayav lismoch ma'aseh hadat elehem v'lishan. You have to hear what they tell you. You can't say I believe in the Torah, but those rabbis, I don't want to hear what they have to say. V'chol mi she'eino oseh b'hora'atam, and whoever doesn't do, over belot ta'aseh sheneimar lo tasur. It says, don't stray away from what they tell you, and so on and so forth. And it says more than that. I'll skip. אחר הדברים שלמדו אותם מפי השמועה והם תורה שבעל פה, ואחד הדברים שלמדו אותם מפי דעתן, באחת מהמידות שהתורה נדרשת בהם. Whether it's something that is learned בתורה שבעל פה, or whether it's something that they understood on their own, using the tools in which they were giving us, using that manuscripts or the enigma code that was given to us of how to learn the psukim. ונראה בעיניהם, and it seems to their eyes, שהדין זה כך הוא, and this is what it should be, ואחד הדברים שעשו אותם סייג לתורה, and some of the things that they decided to put boundaries for the Torah, ולפי מה שהשעה צריכה, and according to what is needed by time, והם הגזרות והתקנות והמנהגות, whatever חכמים so right to establish, to make a boundary for Torah. For example, Chalav Israel, for example, Pat Akum, Yain Nesach, etc., etc. בכל אחד ואחד משלושה העצות האלה, and so on and so forth, you have to listen to them. In other words, if they see fit, how they understand it. Every generation has a Beit Din that is allowed to interpret. He's allowed to interpret the Torah as they see fit to interpret it, according to the laws. And the machlokot and division in the nation and the people came because they don't want to listen to what the Chachamim said. Show me another religion that allows you such freedom. There's no such thing. So that's the naaseh. That's the naaseh. When we call machloket l'shem shamayim, we understand that that's what it is. You have your opinion, I have my opinion. The Torah understands that every person has his own natural, inclination to whatever his heart desires. And that's fine. If you want to learn Kabbalah, learn Kabbalah. If you want to learn Halakha, learn Halakha. But when it comes to the way of the law, to interpret the law, we all strain up the line. We all coming in one line. We all come together. It will be like like an army. If we have a target to conquer, the Air Force can say, "Excuse me, I don't see any planes in the air. Why should I help the soldiers? I don't have to care. Why do I have to care about them? I don't care about them." Or the soldier that the pilot fell down with the plane. He said, "I have to risk my life to go on top of the mountain to save this pilot." Let the Air Force people help him. When it comes to our joint mission, to something that we vowed to, we all straighten up a line. We all hold like this. The Kabbalists, the Halachists, the Darshanim, and so on and so forth. These are the Chukim. These are the Naaseh. But if so, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to put on them Har Kigigit? Why did he had to put like the Har Sinai, like a barrel over their heads? And just pay attention. Because that Naaseh v'Nishma is good. It's Yofi, it sounds terrific. It's very good for the books. Naaseh, we will do. And after that, we look for meanings. First of all, we do, after we look, it looks terrific. But it leaves you here a big opening. If I don't understand something, or something is not clear to me, or if I did not find meaning to a particular action that the Torah asked me to take, regardless of how much I ask for and searched for, after that, you know what? Just don't feel like doing it. Just don't feel like doing it. So I don't do it. There is always this option. With this Naaseh v'Nishma, that we leave ourselves a way out. A way out of this deal. And it's something to be very careful. How many times you hear, Rabbi, this mitzvah that we're doing, it makes absolutely no sense. I have a hard time with it. I have a hard time relating to this thing. I really thought a lot about it. It just doesn't make sense. So why should I do it? Why is it such a big deal if I marry a non-Jew? I don't understand. What's the big deal? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't need to make sense. The Torah told you not to. Why do I have to bring korbanot? What are we? A bunch of butchers there? Well, what are we doing? Shish kebab in heaven? It's primitive. It belongs to the past. And those people who want to bring korbanot are just a bunch of weirdos. It doesn't make any sense to me anymore. So I don't do it. Here comes HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, no. That's not going to happen. Everything is going to, the whole universe is going to be dependent on the fact that you receive the Torah or not. And then I need to ask myself, what inside of me creates this resistance? Why do I have to put this like little line in the contract? If I want to leave, I can leave at any time. What's the problem? And that is the sechel, the intellect in me. That side that says, nishma, we should hear, or we should understand. That's the part that says nishma, not the part that says naaseh, I will do. The act of Pinchas was an act of naaseh, not of nishma. Nishma, listen, let's sit down, let's talk about it a little bit, let's discuss it, let's take a vote, was it right, was it not right, and so on and so forth. That's naaseh, that's nishma. Naaseh is, I need to do what I need to do. So exactly, who wants to control what? Who wants to control? It's the sechel in me. It's the one that so-called wants to understand. So therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts this mountain as a barrel over our hands against the sechel. That act of HaKadosh Baruch Hu does something miraculously. By the way, is this a good thing or a bad thing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does that forces us up with a mountain over our head? Of course it's a good thing. Everything that God does is good. But how is it good? Let me explain to you now. And I have a tremendous chidush for you. A new concept you understand. Because many times we with our minds try to understand and we don't understand. So what do we need to do? We need to stop trying to understand. And that's exactly what He does. The fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu put the mountain over our head, by the way, you're not going to find this in the Torah. The Torah does not say that. The Gemara in Avodah Zarah says that, but the Midrash says this, but you're not going to find this in the Torah. But still, it's a very good concept to understand. It's there for a reason, for us to know. It says, it forces us lishmot. Lishmot is to let go. To stop trying to control, lishlot, shmitat hashlita, chopping the urge to control. Stop or try to let go, to understand everything. We try to understand everything. We feel we have a right to understand everything. We want explanations. If your father says to you, listen, I think we will have to downsize and you'll have to give up your phone. Why do I have to tell you? Why? What is it your business? He paid for it until now. Why do you care if he does it? It's probably something he doesn't want to tell you. He doesn't but I need to understand. I want to know. You have to explain that. I don't have anything to explain to you. There are certain roles we're playing. I'm the father, you're the son. If I want to share it with you, I'll share it with you. If I don't want to share it with you, it's none of your business. See, it agrees with me. Simple as that. So, when we drop or we let go of this internal noise inside of us, that engrave on its flag the rationalism, everything so-called, we want to rationalize everything besides our action. Our actions are completely irrational. The way we think is completely irrational, yet we wave the flag of rationalism all the time. When you do that, then you allow to emerge, you allow a new meaning or a new experience to emerge. That experience is internal. That meaning of that's what it means when it says, Ve'az yiru ha'am et hakolot. You have all of a sudden, when you let go out of your rationalism, with your need to control everything, from this need to be immersed with explaining everything through your limited five senses, then you allowed something much greater to come up, a better understanding of the world, a better understanding of what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from you, to the level that you can actually experience the lights as sound, and the sound as lights. It is a totally different level of awareness. It's a whole different level of interaction with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with its world. You all of a sudden understand things. But you can't do that when you're trying to hold on and to control everything. You have to let go. Don't be so obsessed with control. When you are obsessed with control, it's a sign of your weakness. You are weak if you want to control everything. We want even a controlled environment. We're not happy with the weather the way it is. When it's hot, we want cold. When it's cold, we want hot. It's amazing to me. If I'll put the AC on 68 degrees in the summer, everybody will say, "Ooh, it's freezing cold, freezing cold." You want it lower. If I put it in the winter, the temperature on 72, say, "Mason, can you make it 74? What even 74? In the summer, tell me 68. You're never happy. You want to control everything, and you control at the end absolutely nothing, and you are downgrading your experience of life because everything goes through your five senses rather than to let go and experience things in a different level altogether. That's why we are not able to ascend above our materialism. That's why we always want to be spiritual and we can never elevate ourselves up. That's what it says as Kal Kanesha, fly like an eagle. And we don't want to do that because we're weak people. And we always want a way out. I don't want to make a commitment. I want a way out. I want a prenup agreement. There's no prenup. No such thing. What's a way out? Work hard. Make sure it doesn't fail. Make sure your marriage stays. You work hard on yourself. Put yourself on the floor. Let your wife crawl all over you. Make sure your marriage does not fall apart. You don't want a way out. If you want a way out, it will never work. It would never work. I told you today, if you want to know how you're going to treat your wife, look at how you treat Shabbat. Shabbat is your wife, Shabbat is your Kala. You want out, you want out. You don't allow yourself all Shabbat long to experience Shabbat different. Why? Because you can't wait for it to finish. Oh goodness, Shabbat is so long, I can't take it. You never experience it. That's why you need to go to the mountains. You need to go out. You need to go out of your comfort zone. That's why in Israel, you could have it. Sometimes we fall into the same trap there too. But for us, when we go to Eretz Israel, it's a different experience. It's out of a comfort zone. But how do we bring it back? How do we do that? So when you take that center stage from your physical senses, then you realize that there is a chance and there are other forces and powers and abilities that you have to emerge from you. By the way, maybe this is the explanation when we say Ma'ale Shemitah beHar Sinai. What does the laws of Shemitah have to do with Har Sinai? Because the whole essence of the laws of the Torah is to let go of your own insecurity, your little human being, and try to let go and trust God. Only then I could really understand what the Kadosh Baruch Hu wants from me. Yes, sometimes I need this uncomfortable situation, this threatened situation of having a mountain suspended over my head like a barrel that might fall, in order for me to understand that there are things that are greater than me, in order to understand my place in the world, in order for me to let go and to appreciate it, in order to really see the voices and hear the sound and to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Only when you are at that level, only then there is a revelation, only then you see HaKadosh Baruch Hu and His majesty, and you see HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Melech. This is what we need to let go. Let go and let God. Bring Kadosh Baruch Hu, bring God into your life by being less obsessive about control. And the worst are those who are passive aggressive, who are so insecure and so cowards that will try to control you. Stay away from these people like you're staying away from the plague. These are the barriers which prevent you from seeing what you really need to experience. Only then you can elevate yourself out. You remove the tum'ah from you, the impurity, and you see the majesty of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. B'me'ah b'yameinu, amen.